but anyway, I got this old girl now, and people like it. I never did like Freightliners, but basically underneath the hood, it's the same thing as the Peterbilt was. It's got a 3406E cat. It's got a 15 speed, and it's got, I believe, 336 rears on this dude.
Why don't you open the hood up?
And why don't I open the hood? Oh my goodness!
Well, why don't you just open it up? You're talking about it, so open it up.
I can't.
Oh, you gotta take the latches down.
But anyway, this motor here is a 3406E. It's not a C15 like my other motor on the Pete. But I did have a 96 Pete that looked just like my 05 Pete. You couldn't tell them apart unless you know what you're looking at. But anyway, it had this 3406E, and it would leak oil every freaking where. This one here got a leak, and I thought I had fixed it. And I looked up on this motor when it first came out back in '96. This motor, it had a leak, and Caterpillar had put out a letter to their cat people, and they talked about putting epoxy down the seam between the block and this front cover, instead of taking it all apart and changing the gasket. So, and I found it. I found the stuff that they were talking about, and so I cleaned it all off and redid it, and then it started leaking over the top of it. So when Bob had this thing overhauled, I asked him what kind of overhaul he had. He said the cheapest one he can get. So basically, he had the cylinders and pistons, rods and mains, and a new head put on it. So that being said, whenever they do that, or whenever they take the head off, they don't change anything up here. And so what I'm thinking is that there's two oilers. There's an oiler right here, and then there's a bolt hole right there. And I looked at the schematics for this motor, and that oiler that's right there's got a little black rubber seal, and that's almost identically where I think that it's leaking from. So I'm thinking about, instead of tearing the whole front of the truck apart to fix an oil leak, is to take this cover off and take that gear off and pull that old seal out and see if I can't put another seal in. I don't know if it'll work or not, but it's worth a chance, I would think. Pull the peanut cover and do that instead of...
What did you just call that? A peanut cover?
Yeah, it's called a peanut cover because it's shaped like a peanut. So
it is?
Yeah, look at it.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't realize that.
Now my C15 said cat right there. This one don't say it, but it still has a peanut cover the same. But anyway, I pull that peanut cover, and then the gear is right there. I can pull that gear off, and that'll get me access to those bolts, and it should get me access to that one rubber seal. Now it's between, the seal is between here and the head, but I should still be able to get access to it. I should be able to get a pick and pick it out, and probably try to put another one in there with some seal or something. I was thinking about maybe trying that. I've tried everything else. Why not try that? Some of these hoses are starting to look old and fragile. So anyway, but I don't know. I'll think about it.
Well, I mean, you certainly have a game plan. Oh, look at all the colored wires. We were talking about colored wires at Melvin's.
Those aren't wired. Those are airlines.
Oh, those are airlines. Oh.
Yeah, there are a couple wires in there. This is a wire. It goes to the heated mirror down here, but it don't have one on there. So that's a new mirror there. Oh yeah, that goes to the new mirror. That goes to the heat on the mirror. But basically, yeah, these are almost 100. There's one wire loom inside there. All the rest of them all airlines.
Oh, well, that shows you how much wifey knows.
So yeah, still ready to go.
Well, and so you're thinking 2 full weeks out on the road, right?
Well, it's gonna have to be because it's I got next week gonna be driving up to Montana. I don't know how that's gonna play out with me having to stop and get that seal. Usually a seal like that takes them probably, it all depends who's working on it. But it's more like an hour, between an hour and 2 hour job, depending on who's working on it. So I've seen people change those things in like 30 minutes. They know what they're doing. So, but anyway, I got to get that wheel seal done. That's an issue. I got to get it done, especially if it starts leaking where it gets out on the tire and all my brake pads. And so anyway, I got to get that done. And other than that, it looks like, yeah, it's 2 weeks because I got to run out there, unload on Thursday, and then deadhead overnight down to Pevely and reload, and then head all the way out to Pennsylvania. So.
Well, you have had 3 weeks at the house, so
the total run is just short of $15,000 gross. So, watch your head. I got my bubble mirror installed, and got my radar car detectors installed, and they do work. So what happens is the car starts running up next to me, there's a light up here on the pillar, on the A pillar, it will light up. And once the car gets up to here, which I should see it in the mirror, it will go off. And then I have another one identical to it on the other side. So I got radars for that, and then I got a couple more dash cams. I'm thinking about getting dash cams, not dash cam, but a security system that records 360 degrees, 365 days a year. So.
wow.
Yeah, so, and it go on the trailer too. It's all wireless. Everything is wireless. So I'll have security on the trailer and security on the truck. After that last deal, I tell you, I immediately thought it was my fault only because it happened, and I don't know how it happened, and it just caught me off guard. I mean, I turned on the blinker and then boom, and all hell broke loose. And so, but after it was all said and done and everything, this guy didn't remember the ride because he had blacked out, and so to me, after a lot of thought, I feel like the guy must have blacked out or was blacking out and got into me. And and this has happened to me before. And my dash cam, it was actually working, and so it wasn't no problem. But my dash cam not working has made it my fault, even if I suspect that it might not be my fault. So there's nothing I could do. So I'm all about dash cams, but I'm not all about dash cams that let me down. So
yeah.
And that dash cam broke my heart because it really let me down. So had it recorded it and I actually seen that it really was my fault, I would have felt 100% better. But there's doubt. I mean, I have lots of doubt. I mean, so, and I'm not the kind of person to just throw on a blinker and not look and get over.
No.
And so I usually throw on my blinker, yes, but I don't just get over without looking. So that's really got me puzzled. So anyway, I want security all around this thing. I've had several trucks tore up sitting in truck stops, and anyway, and people, they'll hit your stuff and they'll just jet, leave, and you'll come back and you're just stuck holding the bag. So yeah, I want to get better, more. I want more security on my equipment. I don't trust the world.